Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Samantha, and I'll be the room facilitator for the Faculty of Community Services session as part of Ryerson's virtual open house. To start, Ryerson has shifted to an essential services model to help prevent the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. As a result, our on-campus open house event was canceled. We have put together a series of virtual sessions in order to share much of the information that we would have shared in person, and we thank you for joining us to learn about the Faculty of Community Services. As a reminder, there are many other sessions happening today, so please be sure to visit the website and register for any other sessions that might interest you. A few Zoom housekeeping tips before we get started. We encourage you to ask questions. We have many faculty and staff members here to answer your questions. To do so, there should be a Q&A box at the bottom of your Zoom window. Click the Q&A box to open the dialog window and type your questions throughout the presentation. To save time, we recommend scrolling through the Q&A to see whether your question has already been asked by another attendee. And we recommend asking as many questions as you'd like, but only asking your question once so we can get to it as promptly as possible. We thank you in advance for your patience. If you're having any audio or video issues, feel free to flag it in the Q&A box, and one of our staff members can try and troubleshoot it with you. You can rearrange the screen in any way that works best for you. And do note that rearranging your screen does not impact the way others are viewing this presentation. And you'll notice that we are closed captioning the presentation to ensure accessibility for all audiences. Please note that if your screen reader is not picking up the content in Zoom, you will be receiving a recorded video session with an audio transcript over email tomorrow. With that all being said, I'd love to introduce Danny from the Faculty of Community Services to start the presentation. Take it away, Danny.
Thank you so much, Sam. As I mentioned, my name is Danny Gomez-Ortega, and I am the manager of student experience within the Faculty of Community Services, and I'm very excited to see you here. Just a little bit about me. I am a Ryerson alumni, and I identify as somebody that is Latinx, an immigrant with an invisible disability that it's also on the trans spectrum. And I am very, very proud to be here with you today. Now you know a little bit about me. I want to know a little bit about you. So we are going to launch our first poll just to see who's here in the room with us. So the poll is, what program are you interested in? If there's more than one here, please pick your top one. And this again will help us get to know you a little bit better. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of nursing students, early childhood, child and youth care, social work, public health, couple occupational. That's great. We'll give a couple more seconds to see who else we got in the room. Awesome. So we have people from almost every school, which is really great to see. Good to know. And I can tell you that you're in for a really great presentation that will hopefully speak to the questions that you have. Now, moving on in our presentation, we want to give you a sense of what to expect from today's 1-hour session. First, we'll do a land acknowledgement by Dr. Nada Burton, our Associate Dean. Next, you're going to hear from our Dean, Dr. Lisa Barnoff, about what is the Faculty of Community Services. And then we're going to go into a top 10 presentation, and we'll explore the top 10 reasons why you should join us here in the Faculty of Community Services. So, Dr. Nada Burton, I'll let you take it away from here.
Welcome, everyone. It's really great to be here with you. On behalf of the 2 associate deans, that's myself and Jennifer Martin, and our dean, Lisa Barnoff, who you'll meet in a minute, we're really happy to welcome you and to know that you're considering joining us at Ryerson next fall. At Ryerson, like in many places, we often begin events with a land acknowledgement, which is a statement that recognizes and respects Indigenous peoples as traditional stewards of this land, that recognizes the ongoing relationship that exists between Indigenous peoples and their traditional territories, and that also reminds us and teaches us about peoples and histories that are often suppressed or forgotten. So I have to admit that doing a land acknowledgement on Zoom is totally new to me. And of course, you're going to be listening to this open house from many different places across the province and even the country, and maybe even beyond that. And the acknowledgements we would make where you are may not be the same as where I am. So I'm going to offer the land acknowledgement for where I'm sitting in Toronto right now, but I invite all of you to think about the land that you're on And if you don't know what territory you are in, perhaps to find out and add that to the way you think about where you live, along with your address or your town or however else you think about where you live right now. So at Ryerson University, we acknowledge that we're on Treaty 13 territory, a treaty that was established between the Mississauga of the Credit River and the British Crown. We're surrounded by Treaty 13A, Treaty 20, which is also known as the Williams Treaty, and Treaty 19. Toronto and Ryerson University are in the Dish with One Spoon territory, and the Dish with One Spoon is a treaty between the Haudenosaunee Confederacy and the Anishinaabe, including allied nations, to peaceably share and protect the resources around the Great Lakes. We acknowledge that we're all treaty people and that we're grateful to be working and to be living on this land. Thanks, Danny.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, Nadia. Next, we have a video prepared for you by Dr. Lisa Barnoff, who will tell us a little bit about what Faculty Community Services is, or as we like to call it, FCS. Just a quick tip, I would recommend that you turn your audio down a tiny little bit because this, or at least adjust it, because this might be a little loud from what the feedback that we've received.
We are in the Sally Horsfall Eden Center for Studies in Community Health. On the 6th floor, you will find the Dean's office for the Faculty of Community Services. Inside, you will meet Dr. Lisa Barnoff, our Dean.
Hi, welcome to the Faculty of Community Services, or as we like to call it, FCS. I'm Lisa Barnoff, your Dean, and I'm so excited to welcome you to the faculty. FCS has a total of 9 schools, including Child and Youth Care, Disability Studies, Early Childhood Studies, Midwifery Education Program, Daphne Cockwell School of Nursing, Nutrition and Food, Occupational and Public Health, Social Work, and Urban and Regional Planning. These schools are all connected by a shared commitment to community engagement, social justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. At FCS, we're committed to pushing boundaries and creating impact. Together, we engage with our communities to challenge the status quo and enable meaningful change. Thank you for visiting FCS.
So hopefully that gives you a sense of what the Faculty Community Services is. And if that didn't, then you'll be getting a lot more information about who we are. So this is where the countdown starts. So we're gonna go into the top 10 reasons why you should join us at the Faculty Community Services. The number 10 reason is our facilities. We have really great facilities. And first we would like to highlight our newest addition to the campus, the Daphne Cockwell complex. So in this building, quite a few number of students will have a chance to learn here. And we've prepared a little video that will show you just what this building is and what it looks like inside. As you saw in that video, it's a beautiful building, but not only that, it's incredibly useful for our students. So if you're in the School of Nutrition, Occupational Public Health, Nursing, midwifery, you should be very, very, very excited to take many of our courses in this building. It has beautiful lab spaces, hospital beds, kitchens, anything else that will help you prepare for the workforce. If you're not in those programs, we still have good news for you. We also have other facilities that are great. If you're in early childhood studies, we have the Early Learning Center, which is a childcare center and a licensed lab where you'll be able to learn directly from children about the development of children. We also have Beadrow Resource Center, which is a resource center for children with disabilities and their families, and it focuses on how to support them and families. So you'll get to have a lot of hands-on experience there. If you're in social work or if you're in child and youth care, we do have a simulation lab where you can interact with live actors. And then if you're in urban planning, we also have a whole building that's dedicated for you, which includes lab spaces as well, computer labs, and faculty offices. So facilities is a great reason why you should join us here at Ryerson. Number 9. Let's see what number 9 has in store for us. So with number 9, you'll be part of a community of service providers. When you join us in the Faculty Community Services, let's say you're a nursing student, you're not just gonna be a nursing student, but you'll be able to interact and learn from all these different disciplines within the faculty. The way your curriculum is built in a way that will allow you to take courses from different disciplines, and it will encourage you to make those connections. Additionally, beyond the classroom, there will be many, many learning opportunities and events where you will get to interact with students from different disciplines. Now you're wondering, why is this important for me? Well, the reality is that when you do graduate and you go into the workforce, you won't just be working with nurses if you're a nursing student or midwifery. You'll be working from people with different disciplines. So, for example, wouldn't it be great if you're in social work to already know what nurses do and that kind of work that they do? So when you do take a client to a hospital, let's say, you're familiar with that space and with that environment. Or let's say if you're in public health, wouldn't it be great for you to connect with urban planners and talk about how to make cities that focus on the population's health? So we're really preparing you for that step for when you do graduate, to work collaboratively and to really have part of that interprofessional education. Number 8. Support at every level. This is another great reason to join us. So if you are in the Faculty Community Services, you will receive an extensive amount of support in your academics, your emotional, and financial support. When it comes to academics, in your first year, we provide extensive in-class writing support. You will also have access to learning strategies. When I was a student, I accessed them myself, and they helped me with things like procrastination, how to plan my year, and how to make sure that I was having a good work-life student balance. So you have people helping you with that. And you also have access to learning groups with other peers that will focus on reading, writing, and other learning strategies, in addition to one-on-one support with other peers from your program. Additionally, we know that the transition into university can sometimes be a little challenging for students. So we will be providing counseling services to our students at Ryerson. So if you're a parent watching this, or you are a counselor, know that your students are going to be in good hands if they join us. Last but definitely not least, financial. You will be receiving financial support at Ryerson. After your first year, you will have access to countless awards and bursaries, not only in your program, but faculty-wide, that will be given sometimes based on need, sometimes based on merit, and sometimes based on ideas that you might have in the community to launch projects. So know that you'll be well supported if you come here at Ryerson, especially to the Faculty Community Services. Number 7, dynamic student life. If you come to Ryerson, and if you come to the Faculty Community Services specifically, you'll be very, very, very busy. We have over 20 student groups that are focusing on providing services and providing opportunities for learning and engagement to our students. And some of those groups are based per program. So every program has a course union, or they have a group that focuses on their particular students. But there's other groups that focus on different interests a student has. So some groups exist to provide support to Black, Indigenous, and people of color students in midwifery. Another group focuses on social justice for nurses, and so on. So we have many student groups for you to join and be part of. And we've listed a few of the examples of activities that these students organize for our students. So we had an interdisciplinary quiz competition where students were given a social problem, and then people from different programs tried to see how they would tackle that problem different from those different angles. We had a conference on access to care, and we even had brief counseling workshops, again, organized by our students. Additionally, we have paid work and research opportunities here on campus. Before we move on to our last point, I want to give you a chance to speak to one of our current students, Alana, in social work, who will tell you a little bit more about what that life beyond the classroom is like for Ryerson students in FCS. So Alana, take it away.
Hey everyone. So my name is Alana Fricker. I am a graduating fourth-year social work student. I started a student group called Canadian Students for Sensible Drug Policy at Ryerson 2.5 years ago when I was in second year. And I started it in response to the overdose crisis in our community. And I had never been in a student group before, and it became the most meaningful thing to me and a lot of the folks who joined my group. We now have 150 members and growing, and we do a lot of event organizing and advocacy. We distribute harm reduction supplies, and we do a lot of awareness campaign and educating. So some of the events I can speak to, we've organized well over 50. Notably, we've had a harm reduction and social justice series talking about overdose prevention sites, prisons, sex work, and gender in relation to harm reduction. We've trained over 1,200 students with harm reduction 101 training and naloxone training to reverse opioid overdoses. We've done subsidized CPR trainings, tours of the supervised injection site next to the university, and a lot of petitions and letters that we've organized to support harm reduction initiatives at Ryerson and in the community. Currently, we've moved everything online, so we are fighting to support prisoners during COVID-19. We're organizing weekly webinars. We've also started a prisoner emergency support fund, so we're doing mutual aid for people who are locked up and coming out. And I really want to encourage FCS students to get involved in student groups. So they're not only a place to make friends, but they're a place to really do meaningful work that you care about. So there's a lot of groups that already exist, but if there's something that you're passionate about that doesn't already exist on campus, I encourage you to start a group, and FCS can be really supportive with that. I had a lot of support from the FCS Dean's Office as well as the social work department with grants, awards, giving us a seat at the table with decision making and helping us promote our events and advocacy. And so if you have any questions for me or my group or FCS about student group organizing, definitely reach out, ask questions, and that you really can make a difference. And I encourage you to get involved in activism and the things that you care about. And I wish you luck. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Alana. That was really helpful for students to hear, for future students to hear, hopefully. In addition to the life beyond the classroom, we also wanted to spend a second talking about our very diverse student population, which we're very proud of. If you're a high school student, there's many people like you. If you're a student achieving your second degree, there's people like you. If you're a person that has been out in the work field, that is coming back to school after a few years, there's students like you. So know that whoever you are, you're not alone, you're not the only one. To talk more about the experience as a mature student, we have invited another one of our students, Diana from nutrition, who will tell us a little bit more about her experience. Diana, take it away.
Hey, hi everyone. So I'm Diana, a current nutrition and food student here at Ryerson, pursuing dietetics. So before I got to Ryerson, I already had a degree in my pocket, and many of you might be in a similar situation or maybe took a little bit of a break after high school. So you might qualify as a mature student entering Ryerson. And I know the first thought that I had when I came here was, am I going to be the only one in this situation? Definitely not. To my surprise, I found that Ryerson, has such a diverse community, and there are people from all walks of life here. And in my program, actually, I found that there was an age range anywhere from 18 to 30 years of age. So it really differs. And at the end of the day, when you get comfortable and start to meet people, everyone kind of blends together in a really nice, tight-knit community. So I wanted to mention a couple tips that did help me ease my transition into Ryerson when I did come here. And the first was attending orientation, specifically my program orientation. That's where I met some of the people in my program. I got familiarized with campus. I got to talk to staff and people in my program to get more questions answered. So just attending orientation will definitely ease some of the nerves that you might have in starting out. Plus there's lots of fun activities to do and prizes to win. So there's nothing to lose by going. And the second was getting in touch with my academic advisor as soon as possible. Especially coming from another post-secondary institution, I had transfer credits to deal with. And it might be you know, a little bit confusing for you if you have that as well and trying to figure out how that works out into your course schedule. So your academic advisor is one of your best help in the beginning. You know, even if you're just coming from high school and you want to try to figure out how you want to plan out your courses, they will be so useful in that and sit down with you, walk you through everything and organize everything so you make sure that you can fulfill all of your requirements. So definitely get in touch with them, even if you just have questions about courses and what to take and what to mix. They will be great with that. So I hope that was a little bit helpful for anyone who might be coming to Ryerson as a mature student or in a similar situation. And now I will bring it back to Danny.
Thank you so much, Diana. That was really helpful indeed. Next, number 6. So we're getting there, folks. The number 6 reason why you should join us in the Faculty of Community Services is because we recognize that experience is learning. To talk a little bit more about experiential learning here in the Faculty of Community Services, I want to introduce you to another one of our very special guests, Nadia Bello, the Manager of Experiential Learning in the faculty. Nadia, take it away.
Thank you, Danny. Good morning, or good afternoon, really, everyone. My name is Nadia Bello. I am the Manager of Experiential Learning and operations at the Faculty of Community Services. I've been at Ryerson for just about 3 years. We have 6,800 students in the Faculty of Community Services this academic year. Of those 6,800 students, almost 4,000 students are in some kind of placement, internship, or co-op across their different programs and schools. So right away, that should tell you how incredibly important experiential learning is to Ryerson, to the faculty, to the different schools in the faculty. And certainly, I think, to your career goals, judging by some of the questions in the Q&A. So I'm going to talk to you about 2 things. One is formal accredited opportunities, and the second is informal experiential learning opportunities. Now, I'm going to talk at a really high level because I'm trying to represent 9 very diverse schools. I'm really going to encourage you to reach out to the specific school or program you're interested in order to get specific answers to your questions. And I know that in the Q&A you have some specific questions, and that we have folks on the line, staff at Ryerson, who are also willing to and able to answer some of your questions. So formal accredited learning. What that means in that 7 of our 9 programs, learning is accredited, which means that you have the opportunity to become a licensed professional in your field, whether that's midwifery, early childhood, nursing, for example, occupational public health, and more, social work. So accredited learning usually means that there's an external body that governs the profession. For example, the College of Social Work, the College of Midwives, the College of Nurses. So you complete your program through Ryerson, you do your accredited hours through Ryerson, and you become licensed through the college, which also governs your professional practice. And each school that has an accredited learning component is different. For example, social work students are in placement or what they would call field in years 3 and 4, and that is the bulk of your time in years 3 and 4 in social work. And Master of Social Work students also have accredited hours to complete. In nursing, you are in placement every year. Same with early childhood and for example. In occupational and public health, there is a co-op option, so that for those students interested in co-ops, that is the option there. So I'm going to say right off the top, with the exception of co-op, our placements are largely unpaid, and that is the standard really across most universities. That does not mean that they're not not sometimes opportunities to earn income through placement, but the expectation is that as part of your learning, as part of your schooling, you also agree to participate in field and placements. But that is a larger discussion. I just want to be clear about expectations. So formal accredited opportunities for experiential learning can be local, they can be provincial, they can be regional, they can be national, and they can be international. Now, I want to recognize that, of course, in the current pandemic situation, for example, international placements were put on hold for this past year, but just to know that we go around the world. We've been in 17 different countries through the Faculty of Community Services. We work in rural settings, in urban settings, in research settings. So the breadth of what is a formal opportunity is so incredible. And I just want to emphasize that you will have, you know, a diversity of options in order to get your accredited hours. So that's I'll just stop there around the formal accreditation, and I know that you'll have program specific questions. But when I talk about informal opportunities, I'm talking about opportunities that are program-wide, that are school-wide, that are faculty-wide, and that are university-wide. So that might be competitions, it might be research opportunities, it might be opportunities through our zones, zone learning. It might be through extracurricular or co-curricular opportunities, through student groups. So there are lots and lots and lots of informal experiential learning, and we are in the process of trying to create a course so that students who do informal, for example, you go abroad you participate in an exchange. We're trying to create opportunities where you can actually earn credits for those informal opportunities. So that is something that is in the works. And you know, one example is that in the Faculty of Community Services, we go to India. That's an opportunity that's available to all students in the faculty, and work in rural research settings, work in rural settings on long-term research projects with local communities. So there are many, many informal experiential learning opportunities. There are also interprofessional education opportunities. So that's an opportunity to work with students from different professions, different schools within the faculty. So for example, early childhood and nursing and social work students might get together and do a placement, a team-based placement in a nonprofit. I'll just circle back to the formal accredited opportunities. Those can be research-based. They are clinical often, especially for nursing, midwifery, nutrition students, and occupational public health students. They can be lab-based. Urban planning is for the undergraduate. It's less formal, but you have the opportunity to do studio. You're working directly with clients. There are internships. So really a breadth of opportunity there. So again, I'm just going to encourage you, depending on the program you're interested in, to reach out to the specific school. And I'm going to stop talking there, Danny, unless the next slide is mine too.
Nope, that's it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Nadia. We know that you probably have some questions, so please, like Nadia mentioned, reach out to your schools, and also feel free to type them into the Q&A as the presentation goes on. So we've gone through 5 reasons why you should join us. Before we go into the top 5, we know that you're probably jumping off your seats at this point, but why don't you just take a little break and have another poll. And this poll will be a little bit of trivia, just to see if you've really been awake and paying attention through this presentation. So the trivia question is, which program is not part of the Faculty of Community Services? Again, which program is not part of the Faculty of Community Services? And the options are nursing, public health, social work, and English. So I'll give you folks another minute. Okay, so it seems that 99% of you are paying attention, which is great. You chose English, which is correct. English is not part of Faculty Community Services. Nursing, public health, and social work, they all are. So great, thank you. That's great. Now this gets really exciting. We're going to the top 5. So the number 5 reason why you should join us at the Faculty of Community Services is because of the committed faculty and outstanding research. We'd like to bring back Nadia Burton, who will tell us a little bit more about our faculty and the great research that is happening within FCS. Nadia, take it away.
Thank you, Danny. So as Danny said, reason number 5 for you to join us in the Faculty of Community Services, I'm trying to sound like David Letterman, at Ryerson next year, is our amazing faculty and the research that we do. So in FCS, our professors are really as committed to teaching as any instructors I've ever known. And we're committed in our teaching to creating learning environments that are student-centered, which means that they work for you, they're designed to engage you and inspire you, and ultimately to prepare you for the work that you're going to be taking on when you graduate, whichever of our 9 schools you're coming to. I know some of you will be starting school next year, still trying to figure out what exactly you want to do and what you want to learn, but many of you are also coming with your own passions and your own interests. You know you want to be a nurse or a social worker, or you want to work with children and youth, or you want to engage in planning work. And our professors will share those passions with you. If you care about something, so you know you want to work, let's say in a particular community, or you're interested in a particular topic or issue, you're likely going to find a professor in your program who shares your interests and who can support you to learn about the things that are important to you. One of the reasons this is particularly true for us in the Faculty of Community Services is that so many of our professors are also practitioners. So we teach, but we also practice. That means you're going to be learning not just from textbooks and from reading literature, but you're also going to be learning from professors who are in the field. So we are nurses and social workers and planners and youth workers, and we bring our current practices and issues from the field into the classroom, which makes for a fantastic learning environment. We have outstanding faculty in FCS, which means we offer outstanding education. Our programs are challenging and they're rigorous and they push you hard, but as you've heard from both Danny and Nadia, they also offer job-ready education, meaning that many of our programs are accredited so that after you graduate, employers across the province and indeed across the country will be confident in your ability to practice in the field. Along with being great teachers, the last thing I'll say is that our faculty are also committed researchers. We engage in research that reflects our own passions, and that shows up in the classroom too. There's a ton of research going on. The professors that you're going to be learning with in the fall are doing research in areas such as Canadian children and race, promoting deaf human rights, creating walker-friendly suburbs for older adults, migration and young people's mental health, First Nations health in Canada, and lots of other areas. So research is something that keeps our programs and our classrooms really vibrant and interesting, and it's an important part of the Faculty of Community Services. Thanks, Danny.
Thank you, Nadia. Number 4, equity matters. So this is a really big one within the Faculty of Community Services. And you know, we are very committed to equity work, and that commitment shows up through research and also class topics. So you already got a sense of the work and research that our faculty is doing around making sure that, you know, everybody has a chance at success, but that also shows up in your classroom topics. Just so you know, as well, as we talked about, the way the programs are built is for you to be able to take courses from different disciplines, but also explore these topics in class. So some of the topics that you will be exploring is how different politics and different policies within your own disciplines impact different communities and what you can do to address that. Additionally, equity is the focus of many of our faculty and student initiatives across the board. For example, one of our faculty projects is called The Bridge, and this one comes from the School of Child and Youth Care, where faculty focuses on making sure that Black students within the faculty have everything they need to succeed. And it really aims to create a community of success and excellence for African Canadian students. Something else that another student group did is that they created a conference exploring how equity expresses itself in urban planning. Additionally, you'll also be receiving, or you'll also be eligible for a lot of funding for equity-based community projects. So last year alone, we spent about $31,000 supporting projects that our faculty and students did. An example of those projects is Black Frosh, Another example for those projects is the conference that we talked about a couple of times. So know that whatever vision you have, whatever idea you have to support communities both at Ryerson and beyond, you have a lot of support. Last but definitely not least, we do have, we've pretty recently created, now about like a year, we've created a strategic lead in Indigenous resurgence role, which is done by Dr. Lynn Lavallée. So her job is largely making sure that different Indigenous faculty and student within FCS have what they need to succeed. And that includes helping with hiring Indigenous faculty, as well as creating opportunities to have really crucial conversations for Indigenous and non-Indigenous people within the faculty. She also wanted me to pass on the message that if you do identify as Indigenous and you do make it into FCS at Ryerson, you'll likely be hearing from her, and you have many opportunities to connect. Number 3, we recognize that social innovation is everywhere. So social innovation is a concept that you'll hear pretty often within the Faculty Community Services. And it's basically the premise that we need creative thinking to address social issues. One of the examples that was already talked about was the trip that our students took to Kerala, India, where they talked to community members around sustainable water practices and then help brainstorm and make suggestions about things that they could be doing to enhance this. In addition to this, we have an artist in residence that focuses on how art can be used to address social issues. And if this is a topic that sounds interesting to you, you can also study it in class. So we do have a minor or a collection of courses that you can take to explore this topic further. And last but definitely not least, we also have events called social transformation cafes, where you can explore this topic further and have different conversations on different topics. Number 2, we're getting close, folks. We're getting very, very close to number 1. So the number 2 reason why you should join us at FCS is because we recognize that leadership is action. It is our priority to make a community of change makers in FCS, of people that can go out into the community and do their best to make transformative and lasting changes to help. So we want to give you the tools and opportunities to make that happen. We have many opportunities where you can, enrich your leadership skills. Some of them in the examples that are listed in the slide. For example, in the Laggate and Cherry event, we explore how social engagement can help address different social issues. So the previous image that we showed, which we're going to go back to, is a picture from one of their events, actually. So it explores how virtual reality can be used as a tool to create empathy. Very, very cool. Additionally, we have an initiative within FCS that's called the Institute for Change Makers by Olivia Chow. I attended one of the sessions and it was awesome. So we learned from Olivia Chow, who was a city councilor, that was also a national member of a national MP. And we explore exactly what we need to do step by step to create political change, from where to seek power to how to build a team of volunteers and empower them. Very, very interesting, and you're learning from an insider, which is very interesting and very cool. Another opportunity that we've given our students to learn and grow and connect with each other is through Student Development Day. Just a couple of months ago in February, we held a panel workshop where we learned how we can be more supportive to transgender community members through our different disciplines. So look forward, if you do choose FCS at Ryerson, to many opportunities to develop your leadership skills. Okay, we're going to your top 1. We're almost there, folks. Top 1. So what is the top 1 reason why you should join us? I'll give you a second to think what that might be. I'll give you another second to think what that might be. The last reason is because we want you to make a difference with us. Like we said, we are a faculty that focuses on positive change, and we are passionate about helping communities, and we know that you are too, and we want you to make a difference with us. We pride ourselves in how different we are. So if you want a place where you can fit in, join us. If you want a place where you can make some change happen and have people join you, join us. We really, really hope to make a mark on you through our great program, but we really hope that you can make a mark on us through your ideas and initiatives and hard work that you'll be doing within the Faculty Community Services. So we hope that you learned something about us. We hope that we gave you plenty of reasons to join us and to learn from our special guests. We encourage you to stay connected with us through our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And we want to thank you for your time. Thank you for thinking about us. We know this is a very important time. If you've received an offer from us, please join us. If you haven't yet, hang in there. Hopefully you will. If you're in grade 11 or earlier, think about us when the time comes. And if you're a parent or guidance counselor, thank you for joining us and thank you for recommending your students to come to join us. We encourage you, even though the presentation is done, we encourage you to keep asking questions, and I'm gonna throw it back to Sam to close it up for us. So again, thank you folks, and we hope to see you soon.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Danny. And thank you to Nadia and Alana and Diana for your amazing presentations, as well as the entire admissions and recruitment staff that are behind the scenes answering questions for all of your insights. We're going to shut down our audio and video, meaning you won't see or hear us, but we'll still be online until the end of the hour to answer any questions you may have. So feel free to submit questions just until before the end of the hour. This is also a reminder that you will be receiving a recorded copy of this webinar with audio transcript, but not a copy of the Q&A. So please do make note of any answers to any questions that you might have asked before the webinar ends. On behalf of Ryerson University, thank you once again for joining us, and we hope you and your loved ones are staying safe. We look forward to keeping in touch with you.